What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be taking a look at the VDK Strix. Very interesting looking knife. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, first things first, this knife was provided to the channel by our good friend, Mr. Stud Fishing. He has provided me with quite a few very awesome knives to take a look at, and this is one of them. As you can see, this is such a polarizing design by VDK. Such an excellent little knife that, yeah, I dig a lot. This is the pouch that it comes in. Really cool little pouch with a lanyard and stuff, so wanted to show that. But holy moly, look at that blade. This thing is just cool looking. This is, of course, a pretty wicked Tanto blade shape on this guy. And yeah, I'm digging it. It is definitely, when you whip this out, like, whoa. It's definitely one of those polarizing designs and blades. I don't own many Tantos, potato, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this one kind of does it for me. I really like the fact that they did a hollow grind here on the primary bevel with the flat grind out here. This thing is a slicing little beast. I really dig that. I have one other Tanto knife that has that combination, which we will pull out in a little bit, but it works really, really well. I dig it a lot. As you can see, this one is blue anodized. This is a full titanium scales, titanium frame lock. They do make this in quite a few different other colors. They also have them in a satin blade versus the what is this? Is this DLC? Yes, this is DLC coating. So they also have it in the satin. This particular look with the blue and black hardware with the black blade, I think looks really, really cool. I dig it a lot. You also have this backspacer, which is not a full backspacer. It just goes to the butt end of the knife to add for stability. So that is really, really cool. It is running on ceramic bearings, and let me tell you, the action is superb. Absolutely a wonderful action. The detent is tuned on this where the flipping performance is stellar, just absolutely just great. I cannot fail this knife. It is absolutely wonderful in that sense. And it's just a big, beautiful blade of, oh yeah, right there, M390. So M390, of course, one of my favorite steels in existence, and I love the fact that they made these materials for the knife. You know, full titanium M390. Just materials-wise, they hit it on the head. Now, if you'll notice, this is a really thin profile of a knife here, but the scales are contoured. So that contouring does help. I was really, really nervous whenever I got this knife. I was like, I just don't know with my big old fat hands if this is going to be very comfortable. And it's not the most comfortable, but it was surprisingly comfortable in the hand because of the contouring, even though it's really thin right there. So whenever I grab this thing, my fingers are all the way around it, which is usually kind of a turnoff for me, but it's just enough, I guess, that that it makes it a little bit better. The thinness just kind of reminds me of the talks that I had whenever I did the review on the Spyderco Paysan. It's just, this one is just thin or thick enough for me to feel comfortable in the hand, and as you can see, it's even wider than this guy. So that's kind of the reason it's not just a wonderland of ergonomics for me, because it's so thin, but it's better than I thought it was going to be, okay? Because of the way that it swoops out here, my big old hands, it goes all the way down to the end of the knife. There is no ability to choke up, so this is really the grip that I used it in. Of course, I didn't use it very much. This is not my knife, but let me tell you, the grind on this thing is amazing. Let's go ahead and get the measurement behind the edge. So yeah, it's about 18 thousandths or so behind the edge, maybe right about between 18 and 20 behind the edge. So it slices really, really well. The fact that the Tanto comes out to a pretty decent point gives you very good strength out to this Tanto. I'm talking really well done. Now, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Tantos. I don't have a lot, but I appreciate a well done Tanto and grind, and this one really does it for me. Now, the thing that really excites me about this knife, and I think a lot of people are going to love, is the ratios. This thing is a ratio dream, really, because you have a blade length of 4.1 inches with a cutting edge of 4 inches, so you've got plenty of cutting edge. You've got a close length, handle length of 4.2, overall length of 8.3. And just so we can show you, this knife is surprisingly lightweight for what it is. 3.5 ounces. That's amazing. To have an overall length of 8.3 with titanium, big old chunk, a 4-inch blade of M390, and this thing weigh 3.5 ounces, that is wonderful. Another ratio that, obviously you've got this full amount of blade coming out of this handle. So as far as handle to blade ratio, it is absolutely money. You just really can't beat that. I know a lot of people buy knives according to those ratios, and this one is definitely one to look at because you just almost can't beat it. You just can't. I love the ratios on this knife. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like for other knives. This is another thinner titanium frame lock. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Sonoma. And as you can see, pretty similar in size. Definitely still thin in this area, but the difference is you've got contouring here on this where this is just flat. Still a comfortable knife. I can actually get a choked up grip on this, which of course you guys know that I like, that I can't do on the VDK, but pretty good size comparison. Here it is against the TRM Atom. So pretty close. If you're familiar with any of those knives, you can see this is definitely a full-size knife, but it carries a lot smaller. You just don't feel like you have a big knife in your pocket. So that's just great. I love the way this looks. Now, talking about this Tanto and the grinds on this knife, my favorite Tanto in the absolute world is a little bit different, which is on the Chavez 229. But as you can see, it does have a hollow grind on the flat portion, and then this flat grind on the Tanto. The Tanto on the 229 definitely is not as an aggressive of an angle as the VDK. However, these grinds are very similar and very, very nice to cut with. Super great. I just don't see anybody having any problems with doing what they need to do with the VDK Strix. Very nice grinds. Reminds me of this, to a little bit. This is about the only other Tanto that I have in the collection, which I get still a little bit different. But I love it when the Tanto is coupled with a hollow grind. It just makes me happy. So yeah, like I said, as far as the action, you really can't get any better than this as well. I've got a ton of knives that I say has really good action, but this one is a fall shut, and I like to use the term controlled, where it's not just a guillotine, but this one is kind of in the middle of that. I think this is an action that most people are going to be like, yes, oh, it's so nice, because it is. It's not a fidgety knife. Yeah, it's fidgety enough. Like, the reason that I say that is because I love just opening and closing this knife. I was doing it all day, opening and closing and allowing that blade to come back down to hear that detent. It is really satisfying. I really, really enjoy it. Now, I said that this thing carries like a dream because of the profile, and it is because of the pocket clip too. The pocket clip, I think, works with the blade very, very well. It's not a deep carry pocket clip. You have about that much of the knife sticking out of your pocket. That's not a problem for me. It might be a problem for a lot of other people, but it really does just disappear in the pocket, guys, because of the weight and slimness of this knife. You put it in your pocket and you will forget it's there. It's just, it carries that good. I'm not sure who actually makes these knives, like the OEM. I couldn't find out who did that, but whoever it is doing a great job. I do believe it's an overseas manufacturer, but I have no idea. I couldn't find it, and that's just the nature of the beast. But I know quite a few people who have handled this knife or own this knife, and they have been super impressed. This is definitely not a knife that I think I would have picked up on my own to purchase for review. But I got to tell you, it's a very surprising knife. I had found myself really enjoying this thing. Yes, it is a polarizing design, so not it's kind of a scary Tanto. Ooh, liberals just go crazy. People in some areas don't like the wicked looking blades, but to me, this thing is wicked enough to where I love it. I absolutely love it because it functions like it's supposed to. It's not just a tactical looking kind of Tanto, but it functions amazingly. And so that is why I think this is a really good option. Now, one of the only gripes that I can give about this knife is the freaking price tag. $350. If this knife would have come across, 2-3 years ago with these materials and this kind of action, though, and build quality, yeah, I could have seen that. But in today's market, $350, I have a little bit of a hard time with. I'm not saying it's not worth it, because it is worth it. But there are a lot of options out there. The thing that gives this a little bit of a nudge is, yes, the materials that they use, but also the ratios, like I was talking about, that people really look for in like an EDC knife. Even though it has a Tanto, you just can't beat the ratios that this knife offers. I love it. I love the fact that with a smoke profile knife, I can still get 4 inches of blade to be able to get done what I need. And so, yeah, in my opinion, it is an awesome knife. I would have liked to have seen it just a little bit cheaper, but, it is what it is. And I think people who like this blade design are not going to mind paying it. I really, really don't. It's just one of those knives that whenever you see it, you're like, what the? Okay, that's different. That is definitely different, and it is. But it's really well done. I absolutely love it, and I love Mr. Stud Fishing for allowing me to take a look at this, because I don't think I would have otherwise, and I am so wrong. This is definitely one to look at and to get in your hand, to feel this action, to feel the weight, just an excellent ratio of a knife for an EDC carry with a Tanto. It really is. Guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. If you like this kind of stuff and you don't like to see a lot of ads and stuff, definitely hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. We do not have ads on this channel because we are not monetized, and I am not going to monetize because I don't like that. So we do have a giveaway coming up. This one might, I don't know, this one might post after I do the video, or my giveaway video. So yeah, just whatever. Anyways, I love you guys, and stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.